So sorry to start your morning off with some negative news, but please don't shoot the messenger. Barron's is reporting that the consumer price index climbed 3.4% year over year last month, which was an acceleration from the 3.1% pace logged in November. That was according to, of course, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Economists surveyed by FactSet had estimated that December's inflation rate would come in at 3.2%. So this was a 0.2% miss. On a month-over-month basis, the headline index rose at 0.3%. That was expected to come in at 0.2%. And then we had a 0.1% in November. While the pace of inflation, headline inflation, was on the rise in December, core CPI, a metric that excludes food and energy and is generally considered a better gauge of underlying trends, continued to decline slightly. Core CPI growth slowed to 3.9% year over year in December from the 4% rate last month. Economists had forecast that last month's gain in core CPI would be at 3.8%. So that was also a miss by 0.1%. And on a monthly basis, core went up at 0.3%, which was steady compared to November. And economists had predicted that. Jobless claims also declined in the week ending January 6th, another sign that the labor market continues to hold steady. Jobless claims declined by 1,000 from the previous week's level to 202,000. And then the 4-week moving average was 207,750, a decrease of 250 from the previous week. So continuing claims came in at 1.83 million, which was also a decline of 34,000. So overall, I guess what you can see is the economy seems to be doing okay. Inflation not coming down as fast as people would like to see on the core, and actually popping up slightly on the headline number. And markets are okay on this. In fact, long bonds are yields are down a little bit this morning. Short bond yields are up, which continues to surprise. And the stock market, all three indices and the Magnificent Seven, except Tesla, are doing fine this morning. Tesla's down this morning as the news media continues to just hammer away at anything that they can find to destroy the company is in any way that they can possibly do it. Or at least that's my thoughts this morning as we go into the morning's news. So in addition, housing costs, namely, this is the Washington Post, housing costs, namely rent, continued to dominate the overall inflation report, accounting for over half of the total monthly increase. Rent was up 0.4% compared to the month before, after a few months of rising at 0.5%. So it was better, but still not as much as everybody is expecting in terms of that coming down. Energy costs also nudged the inflation rate up as the price of electricity and gasoline prices offset drops in natural gas. Okay, so a lot of this might be, maybe the reason the market is up this morning is because the market knows that housing rents are coming down. The market knows the gasoline prices are coming down. The market can obviously see that electricity prices are coming down. Now, this next one, car insurance also rose 1.5, a noticeable pop, 20.3% above the year before. Now, we all know about that, and that's transitory. It will be going away. It is due to the high prices of new cars, replacement cars, even used car replacement cars. That has been true for months and months and months, but is now dropping radically. Diane Swank, chief economist at KPMG, said she's keeping an eye on the insurance costs, in particular, including for cars and homes. These categories fall under what is known as services inflation, which hasn't eased as much as inflation for basic goods, such as lumber or couches or refrigerators. This could create a floor under inflation, which would be problematic. But again, we know that this will eventually work its way through, but it might take a very long time, to her point. This is Randy Kirk. Please like, please subscribe, please hit notify. As you know, we've got Bradford Ferguson coming in tonight to help usher in all the good news from today. And then we have more Brian White around the noon hour today. So, and then you want to hit your calendar and hit notify. you do not want to miss my Saturday morning show. It might be actually in 2 segments. I'll be listing my predictions and estimates for Tesla, everything from the margins at the Q4 earnings call to how many bots are going to be made. I'll be predicting some things that no one else is even thinking about, and these will matter. At this point, I think there will be at least 50 predictions. I'm already up to 20 something on my list, and I'm thinking based on what's in my head that we're going to be around 50 different predictions that we can all keep track. And you can see how I do. We'll also invite you to provide your own list or even to edit my list. That'll be Saturday morning, maybe also Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning. Not sure I'm going to do that. Okay. So then by the way, we want you to buy some of these. Lots and lots of orders already. I'm so shocked by the number of orders we've received in January, way higher than anticipated. Lots of orders this week, none yesterday, not a single order. Well, that's maybe not true. My Amazon account, there might have been an order. I'm not sure, I didn't look, but no orders from you all. So we need to pick that back up. I think that was the first 0 day so far this year, but I expected, again, thank you so much. I expected way less than this in January. All right. We've got Evan, the stock market news, at stock market news with a Z, NEWZ, on X this morning saying, Tesla just told staff all production workers are getting a pay raise. There you go. That's from Bloomberg, he says. All right. And then from Slash Gear, Tesla's next Cybertruck-inspired product may well be a sledgehammer, which unsurprisingly will be called the Cyberhammer. Details about the strange Tesla-branded product are scarce since Tesla has not revealed it publicly. In fact, the only reference to the Cyberhammer will be traced to a trademark application filed by the company. Even more interesting is that the trademark application is filed under the fitness equipment category. If you make regular trips to the gym, you are probably aware of the fact that sledgehammers are, in fact, serious exercise equipment that is helpful for those interested in full body workouts. So it may be that a $200 sledgehammer, all right, $250, I'm not sure. Anyway, a really expensive sledgehammer might be coming to the market through Tesla. Anyway, Cox Automotive this morning is saying that as the markets digest inflation data today, remember that new vehicle transaction prices last month were down 2.4% year over year, the largest drop in more than a decade. Here's the data point. Oh, we don't have that data point. Anyway, new car prices and used car prices are dropping. So I think the market must be taking into consideration. Well, let's keep going. So Charlie Bilio, Bilello on X says that after a record 25 consecutive months of negative real wage growth, wages have now outpaced inflation on a year-over-year basis for 8 straight months. This is a great sign for the American worker, and this hopefully continues, he says. Then we have Truflation. Has been at 2.2, has been around 2.1, 2.15, 2.2 for the last 11 days, but it was higher prior to that. So maybe Truflation is getting it right. Maybe it is now conforming more closely to the CPI, but again, the CPI is trailing and Truflation is showing in advance. It'll be very interesting to see what happens on that in the following month. The Kobesi letter also chimes in. He says, after the CPI inflation jumped to 3.4% in December, prediction markets are severely discounting a March rate cut. We started 2024 with a 70% chance that interest rate cuts would happen in March, but after the strong jobs report and hot inflation reading, odds have nearly halved to 0.39. So only less than 40% now think that there'll be a rate cut in March. Still, markets are pricing in 6 rate cuts, double what the Fed is guiding. So keep in mind, there are two more. Now remember, there's 2 more CPI reports, 2 more PCE reports prior to the March meeting. A lot can change between now and when the Fed makes their decision in March, and those numbers could bounce all over the place in terms of the predictions. again, the market seems to be saying this morning, but let's check. Let's see if what I'm saying is true. What is the market saying about this morning? So let's start with Tesla. Well, Tesla is being destroyed again. And actually all the indices are down at this point. They were up, but now they're down. So the Tesla is down $4.62 to $229. Now, this is, again, an outsized down move. So I think, again, I'm going to say it's the press combined with people being concerned about the double whammy. They're concerned that in just under 2 weeks, we're going to hear from Tesla and that they're going to have lower margins and that they're not going to give us good guidance with regard to numbers in 2024. I believe that's what's continuing to drive these prices down. This could be a massive opportunity for those of you who still have dry powder. And that is not investment advice. It's just a possibility that this could be a massive opportunity based on years and years and years of watching these things and many years now of watching Tesla. Anyway, not investment advice. Do your own homework. The Dow is down 87. The NASDAQ is down 3. S&P down 8. And then the Magnificent Seven now, Apple and Meta are down, but everything else is up. And the Cathie Woods are mixed, basically, but very close to even. So only Tesla. I'm telling you, man, this is only Tesla is down heavily this morning. Let's look at the percentages. Whoops, so sorry. The percentages, Dow is down 0.19, NASDAQ is now flat, S&P is down 0.13, and Tesla is down 2%, Apple down 0.79. All right, let's go in and look at the bonds and see if the bonds are continuing to be where they were when I looked last time. All right, let's make sure that these are correct. All right, so we have pretty flat this morning. We've got the 10-year is 0.5% down. The yield is down 0.5%. We've got all of the long bonds down a little bit in yield. We've got the short ones up a tiny bit in yield this morning. So basically, again, the markets seem to be saying that the CPI print this morning was a nothing burger. That's really what they're saying. Things are not dropping off the face of the earth except for Tesla. Everything is kind of normal this morning, regardless of this CPI surprise on the higher side than expected. We have got, let's go on to the oils. Oil is up $1.45. That's 2% this morning. There was some more tensions this morning. Iran seized an oil vessel. Now, if this had happened 2 years ago, oil probably would be up a ton, but there is so much inventory. I don't think so. You got it up $1.51, still in the same trading range it's been for a month. So we'll see what happens later in the day. Brent up the same amount. So both sitting in their trading range. Natural gas down in the same situation. So there you go. Yeah, you can't make it up. Gold up $6, right in range, 2034. Copper up a little bit, up 0.3%. We've got the dollar pretty flat this morning. Bitcoin finally responding the way you might think it would be to the ETF thing, up 2,800 at 48,654, with Cathie Wood this morning predicting that it'll be 1.5 million or something. I don't know. I might have got that headline wrong. That's a huge number that Cathie is projecting for 2030, but I think it might have been over 1 million. All right. And then, so those are the big things that we've got this morning. Going back to Tesla, is it moving in any particular direction? It is not. It is really, really flat, around $5 down this morning, around 229. Yeah, weird. All right. So yesterday's video with Brian White was a very, very important video. I really put a lot of time and energy into it. If you didn't see it, this is about the real value of Optimus being probably twice what people are saying. Most folks are taking the value of Optimus. In fact, me too, up until a week ago or so, You took the wage, let's say $20 an hour, you had 35% to that, that's $27 an hour. And now you multiply that by up to 4 because there are 4 shifts in a week. A lot of people think there's 3 shifts in a week. No, there's 4. You have 2 shifts on the weekend. And you can, have your people come in at various different times if you want to get 24/7. Tesla typically has, like, for instance, on the Model Y, all the Fremonts, that's 4 shifts. Shanghai's 4 shifts. Austin and Berlin are not yet 4 shifts. Anyway, so you can have up to 4 shifts. So you can take that $27 an hour, which is $54,000 a year. You can multiply that times 4 and get a value of over $200,000 for the bot. What this video is showing is that it's double that. And I think if you take a look at the video, there's the card. You're going to agree with me that it's actually double that. So I think it's really an important video for you to check out. Okay, let's talk about this. But did you hit like yet? Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. You want to be notified of that video I'm doing on Saturday morning. It's going to be amazing. I think you're going to like it, and it'll give us some benchmarks, and we can check those benchmarks all year. All right, these guys, let's just go through it because, there's 8 people this morning watching that have never watched before. So they need to know that this is only $25. It is 3 millimeters thick. It is solid. It's really amazing. It's got a massive magnet on the back so that you can hang it on your refrigerator. It is, of course, a bottle opener, in addition to just being a very cute, very clever looking product that you can use. I'm using it right now just as something to put up on my shelf, identifying me as a Cybertruck lover. $25 for 1, $45 for 2, $65 for 3, $90 for 4, $110 for 5. And you can just send the money to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all lowercase letters. If you are outside the United States and in Europe or over here in Canada, Mexico, whatever, add $20, please, for freight. But if you're over in the Far East or Australia, New Zealand, add $30 for freight. And that, I don't care, even if you buy 100, add just $30 for freight. And then finally, Patreon. Remember, we've added a $3 level. So this is a tip jar. This is a thank you, Randy Kirk, for doing this. We know that you need to have an income from this in order to make it, to justify it. This is a, hey, if we support Randy Kirk, more people will be interested in Tesla. They'll buy Teslas. More people will be interested in Tesla stock. And so that's going to help the stock price. So, if you want the stock price to start going back up, you need to support the channel. $3, $5, you get a free book. $10, you get 2 free audio books, or you get one of these and 1 free audiobook during the month of January. All right, that's it. One last chance. We did go a little long this morning on my Cybertruck demo here. So no, Tesla's down even more. It's down almost $6. I don't know what to tell you, but stick around tonight rather, for good news. Maybe we'll have good news by the end of the day. Maybe something will turn this around. Who knows? I'm not making any predictions. Thank you very much. This is Randy Kirk. It's been great talking to you.